Lovely to see a lot of old friends and new faces here. And so let me introduce our lovely panelists. I will start with Marielle. So Marielle Genet, 17 years with Accor in the global team, and founded interior design firm Lifestyle Connected in Ho Chi Minh City in 2007. So her diverse experience across the corporate world of hospitality and her own business since 2007 shapes her design versatility, catering to clients in residential, office, commercial and hotel sectors. Highlights of her career and her portfolio include Gallery Hotel des Arts Saigon, the Pullman Saigon, multinational corporate offices such as Moet Hennessy. Her residential projects range from Paris to Vietnam to New York, US, New York, or we're in the US? US, generally. Commercially, she's worked with brands like Cartier and Vietnam's first ever Audi EV showroom. So beyond her professional achievements, Marielle mentors design students and is designing a shelter for women escaping domestic violence, demonstrating her commitment to giving back. So welcome, Marielle. In no particular order, so design director and one of the two founders of Studio Noor is David Hodkinson. He's an award-winning architect and interior designer with over 23 years of experience. He and I were chatting, our careers kind of mirror each other. He started his first business at the tender age of 26. I was ahead of him by 2. I started my first at 24 in Asia. David received his master's in architecture and interior design from the Royal College of Art in London prior to setting up Studio Noor, as I say, at the tender age of 26. David's a focused, passionate designer who brings fresh design eye to each and every project. His continuing interest to explore new materials, new design narratives, and a more bespoke design language has resulted in successful projects in well-known hoteliers and operators, such as working with Adrian Zecker on his new Azurite brand, Aqua Expeditions with their Mekong boat and boats in the Amazon in Peru, Raffles, Salt Bay, One and Only Hotels, Design Hotels, and many, many others. And we've collaborated together on lots of projects as well. So Studio Noor has grown from a local Vietnam dimension to work on projects in all corners of the world, currently including Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Greece, the Maldives, and of course here at home, where they're creating signature tailor-made hospitality projects. Next I'll come to Mr. Nguyen. So Nguyen, I'm sure, is familiar to lots of people here. Nguyen with Accor Hotels as the Design Technical Services Director for Vietnam, Cambodia, Batu. So he has extensive experience in overseeing multi-brand hotel and resort projects. He was telling us over lunch that Accor have many, many keys coming on board, so he's going to be a busy chap for the next few months. So Nguyen has played pivotal roles in the design and technical services departments of renowned hospitality groups like Accor Hotels and Movenpick Hotels and Resorts. Starting with a bachelor's degree in architecture from Hanoi Architectural University, Nguyen went on to get a master's from Leeds Beckett University in the UK, and his expertise encompasses project management, leadership, and proficiency in various design software. Fluent in both Vietnamese and English, Nguyen's dedication to his craft is matched only by his desire to explore diverse cultures through his work. Married with 2 children, Nguyen balances his professional pursuits with a fulfilling family life. Welcome, Mr. Nguyen. And last but definitely not least, Ms. Nguyen, Do Hai Nguyen, represents Grey Matters in Vietnam, a firm headquartered in Singapore with projects that span the globe, embracing food and beverage, hotels and resorts, luxury retail, through to casinos, super yachts, private helicopters, and country clubs, as well as spas, retreats, and premium residential developments. So Nguyen has an extensive track record in high-grade projects, working with many international clients. So, welcome Nguyen. So, that's our esteemed panel. If you don't know me, my name is Millard. I'm the founder and CEO of Purple Asia. I've been here in Saigon for 25 years, moved here in 1999 to begin a career in the travel business originally, and then founded my company. So we're a brand design company, so I can't speak directly to interior design, although what we do hopefully informs the interior design and helps these guys to do their work effectively. So that's the 5 of us. Let me begin with just a few thoughts and comments. The subject is the evolution of design, specifically interior design, in hospitality design in Asia. Let me say first of all, people don't come to Asia to stay in your hotel. People don't care about your hotel. Hotels are a place, you said bed and breakfast right now. People don't talk in excited terms about rushing over here to stay in a Marriott or a Sheraton. People come to Asia to experience a journey of discovery, to find out new things, often new things about themselves. They come on this journey to see the sights, smell the smells, taste the tastes of Asia. And our job as hoteliers and as destination managers is to help to support, to enhance, and to help people to share those extraordinary experiences. At Purple Asia, our motto is be brave, be brilliant. We want hotels to be brave about the offer that they have, and we want them to build experiences around these guests who come all the way to Asia to see and feel and hear and experience these great sensory experiences. So I'd like to start with a question to the panel, and I'll begin with Mr. Nam. To know where we're going in terms of evolution, I think we need to know where we've been. So can you talk a little bit about the evolution so far, where we were and where we are now in the evolution of interior design in hotels?
All right. Thank you, Matt. For the past nearly 10 years, I've been into this industry, 9 years, coming to 10 years now. I've noticed that we've, as a hotel operator, I think we've seen a massive change or evolution in interior design in a hotel. Like the likes of standardized products, we're seeing less and less standardized products. I think nowadays the hotels are, the evolution is shifting from a brand-centric to a guest-centric. So regardless of the brands now, I mean, within Accor we have like more than 40 brands, but we're seeing less and less standardized product and more tailor-made ones, the ones that catering to the needs of the market, the clientele. Within Accor we try to maintain the brand identities. That's what we still have and thrive through more than 40 brands. Each brand has its own distinguishable identities. Like if you talk about Sofitel, that would be French elegance. You talk about Movenpick, that's Swiss heritage and family. You talk about Grand Mercure, that's locally inspired. But the brand identities are still there, and we continue to develop it. But the standards, nowadays we tend to sort of stay away from the brand standards, kind of. I think gone are the day that we just, hotel operators just send our brand standards to the owners and say, you go away and build the hotel accordingly. I think nowadays we need to go with them and build the hotel according to the needs of the market. So tailor-made ones, I mean, we take on board nowadays trends like lifestyles and so on, and with the owners, the developers' mindset nowadays that every square meters within a hotel needs to be designed in a revenue-generating sort of mindset. So basically, no wasted space inside a hotel. I think I'll let my panelists to explore more on interior design. But all I'm saying is that nowadays you cannot have standardized products anymore. It needs to be tailor-made. It needs to be unique, and you give the space to give the people what they want. As you said, people don't come to the hotel; they want to explore. It's a guest journey and guest experience kind of experience, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe Marielle, with your unique experience, having been on the corporate side for so many years, and then consulting to these big brands and big brands trying to learn new tricks. We have a lot of these collection brands which don't specify brand standards. They just give you a basic framework to work to. How do you see that evolution as having happened up to now? We're talking about the past and development.
In fact, I'm back to both of you saying it's really, you are going to have a guest experience. You are shifting from creating space to creating experience. And that experience done with designer and with the brand. So this experiences can be done by technology, by the way to stay, the comfort, but it's perception of the stay. Not, as you said, we don't stay in a room. We're looking for perception. We are looking for unique stay. So it's really experience that we're looking for. That is really the big shift.
And has that been driven by guests over the last 20, 25 years? The guests are demanding that? And that's
in fact, the trend, the market changed. The guests are looking for something different. So the designer also moving on this way. So both are moving on this way. That is exactly the way we're doing it.
Yin is with a younger, fresher perspective. These are old heads here. You're more recent to the market. How do you see the evolution recently?
Yes, actually, is. I think that the customer behavior changes with the development of the internet. So everyone can access to the information very easy on the internet. And before making any booking, they will do the reviews. They will read the review. They will compare the hotels. So owner and developers and operator did a lot of effort to differentiate them from the others. So as Mr. Nam just said about the personalized, the tailor-made customer experience. So I think there's another addition to that a lot of hotel now is not a place to stay. They are making it to become a hub of community engagement and activities. So, for example, like I have seen JW Marriott Hanoi, they transfer their part of their garden into a earth garden and a home for adorable animals, and it's where it caters for the families and school group, and also the product they harvested from the garden is will go directly to the hotel kitchen, and it's a very good marketing point. And at the same time. But at the same time, it adds a lot of joys to the guest experience during their stays.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. David, maybe I'll pass the next question on to you, which is the role that interior design can play in creating these new guest experiences. There's a lot of refurbishment. I know you're involved in quite a few refurbishment projects. So how do we take that old thinking and bring it up to date and use design to model experiences around the guest?
Okay, well, I'm going to answer this in a different way. It's not just us. I mean, the only way that we have an opportunity to really engage in a project and have an effect on it is when we engage the client as well. If we don't do that, one, it becomes a very tiring project, and you don't have any connection to what the hotel can become. If the client is too distant, whether it's through layers of teams or whatever, or they're just doing it because it's just it's an addition to their empire. Our best projects that we've ever done has been with clients who have a trust. So when we're given that opportunity, whether it's through engagement with them, there's an opportunity for us more to engage with the project itself. So yeah, of course we have that role as the interior designer to have an effect on the property, whether it's a new build or, as you say, we're doing quite a lot of renovations. But without that, it's sort of wasted. But specifically for renovations, it's building layers upon layers. I mean, several years ago, and I think it's just been renovated again, we renovated the 2 Raffles hotels in Cambodia, 2 iconic properties. Which doesn't need that much doing. All we did at that time anyway was to strip away some of the layers and bring back the original essence of those hotels. We didn't do very much, actually. It's more attrition more than anything else.
Polishing the silverware.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Just while you've got your microphone, things like the cruises that you've done, does that help to inform? Because guest experience, while you've got somebody sitting on a boat and they're cruising through a destination and the destination's changing around them every day, does that inform other parts of your thinking in design going forward? It must be an interesting one to tackle.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've not yet designed a revolving hotel where you're changing your view from the guest room every day. But it's an interesting way to look at it. How a lot of design is about framing, isn't it? So framing your view, whether it be within the hotel or looking out from the hotel or to the hotel, is that for us. I mean, we're involved with architecture and interiors, more the interior side, but that connection, especially with resort projects, between the inside and outside and how you frame aspects of the hotel or the view from it is important. So, I mean, we learned a lot through these boat projects, yes, but it's different because those views are changing.
Right. Now, maybe go back to you and ask you with there's a massive volume of hotels, keys coming online, refurbishments being done. How do you keep that guest experience fresh, keep it alive within the constraints of the brands that you've got? How are you going about doing that while you're dealing with the projects we're working on right now?
Good question, guys. It's a difficult one, actually. Thank you, Matt. Nowadays I'm working on a lot of refurbishing and renovation projects, and one of the things that is always a challenge is that with existing properties, there's only so much you can do, right, with interior design, and because all the architectures and everything, it's already there. For example, if you take this ballroom for example, if you want to renovate that and want to bring something new for that, I mean, obviously the structure is there already, the ceiling is here. At the moment it's about 5 meters clearance. If you wanted to make it 10 meters clearance, you cannot, right? So interior design, it has to do something new for that, and the way we go about it is to ask what are we bringing new to the market. I mean, you're renovating a property that's already there, it's already been established throughout the years, maybe 10, 12, 15 years. So one of the key things I think we've been working on the renovation projects, which is I think is a successful one in Hanoi, the Movenpick Hotel. Basically completely changed the hotel from a classic hotel into a fun lifestyle and everything. I think one of the key things is to dare, I think, to actually, basically I'm not talking about like being a lab rat and do something completely out of the box and out of the nowhere, but yeah, I mean, I think the interior design here specifically is you need to be authentic, you need to be creative, and creativity is everything for refurbishing and renovation. Sometimes you have to allow yourself to go a little bit wild and crazy about it.
Exactly.
I think. Yeah.
Can you run the slides? Could you run the slide show that is there? So there's some projects here that all of us have worked on. The one that Nguyen just mentioned very kindly is our project that Purple Asia worked on at Movenpick in Hanoi that we're very proud of. So you'll see some images of that. But Azurai, Kegai is there, which David worked on, and I think we'll just the slides hopefully will just run in a loop. Yin, did you have anything to add on that subject? So how can interior design really shape the guest experience today and going forward?
I think the things change for us. Like Grey Matters, we are a very concept-driven design firm. So what we do is we really focus on a story, a narrative of the design, because we believe that a strong narrative is very essential for the successful of the hotel. I think it's a little bit like a combination with your brand creativity. So it's not only about the artistic wise of the hotel. It needs to be, we want to bring a very cohesive, coherent and comprehensive image of the hotel that the guest can experience, from the very tiny, very detailed thing to the tangible and intangible things, from the social media, the presence on social media posts, to the of course architecture, the interior, the landscape, to the artwork, to the music playlist, to the scent, even to the way that staff welcoming the guests. So I think a very good example is like Bean Bensley work. he did a very good job on the storytelling. I had a very good, memorable experience in Capella, Hanoi. I just walk in curiously, but the F&B manager, he noticed me walking around, so he came by and he walked me to all of the F&B venues, even though it's not under the operation hours, and he explained to me about the design, the story of the hotel, like a designer, and it's make me feel like I didn't make any expense there, but I feel very welcomed. And I feel I really immersed into the story narrative that Bean Bensley has made about the Opera House. So I think, and after that I can tell to many people about that property. It's not because of the beauty of the hotel, it's because they have a very strong story behind it.
I think giving people stories to tell is the heart of everything that we're talking about. And I don't think you have to be Bill Bensley to do that. I think you can do that in an Ibis, you can do that in a
Yes.
you can do that
Yeah.
in any number of brands. Lovely pick up.
Yeah.
Can we go through the slides a little bit? Otherwise it's just David's one slide. And we love David, but can we... Marielle, let me take the next question to you, because it really is an extension of the same thing. The question is, what do you think needs to happen for us to really take that leap forward in guest experience and interior design in Asia? And are there any global benchmarks or benchmarks that we can look to do better as we go forward?
So the second question, I'll leave it to David because he knows a lot of things about it. The first one is, in fact, at the end of the day, we are still with the owner, with the brand ideas to increase the revenue, to make customer happy during their stay. So at the end, it's increasing revenue, customer satisfaction, repeat business. That is look like very mathematic, but at the end, the designer have to put that on their brief story. That is the base of the design, in fact.
And is there other examples that you can give us of brands or properties that do that particularly well or cleverly?
I'm sorry, that example is on my mind. It's not in Asia, but it's the same idea for, I think it was Rosewood in Yangon, but I was in Rosewood in Sao Paulo 1 month ago, and it's exactly what you're saying. Rosewood, Sao Paulo is exactly what we are all saying today. The car park is a library, books, and you wait your car with surrounded by books. So the story already welcome you at the beginning. And then it was done by Philip Stark, but it's not only Philip Stark, whoever do that. He make the stories from the beginning, so in fact I forgot how was the room. I just remember that my stay was unique. Everywhere he put a little corner for, wow, what is this? So he put like kind of design of a tiger. We don't know why, but I remember it. That's my perception of my stay is the most important one, the perception, than the physical design itself. And that is the main challenge for a designer, to give his perception.
And you think that helps to drive revenue?
For sure, because this make first repeat customer, because they're happy, they're back to social media, they say, oh, my stay was fabulous, guys come, so this is repeating customer, driving revenue, and at the end, no space empty. We use any square meter to get revenue. From the car park, we're supposed to wait, but then we order drink until wherever corner, it's increasing revenue.
And I fully agree with you, and I think that making revenue from every square meter doesn't necessarily mean putting money in the till of the hotel.
No.
Doing social media,
yes.
Sharing, doing
everywhere.
Marketing work for the hotel is a way of increasing revenue.
Yes.
You said David was the expert on this one, so we'll pass that question. The question is how can we learn from great brands or great properties in the world how to use interior design to enrich and enhance the guest experience?
Well, I think we are where we are now because of a lot of great properties that... the one thing I hate in design is this idea of trend and things having to be reinvented every 10 years. For me, the best examples are examples which haven't really changed very much over time. The best example, I think, in the region is the Sukhothai in Bangkok, which they might have changed the fabric over the years from green to red or whatever by the swimming pool, but not very much else. It's been added to, of course, with the extension at the back with the residences, but it's been added as an addition to what was already there. in terms of the design. It wasn't reinventing itself. So I think this is important. You know, these lessons that have come from properties such as this, and whether it's through other properties that have been developed by Adrian Zecker and GHM and Ian Schrager and so on, which is late 80s, early 90s. Which now Ian Schrager is another example, which has kind of filtered down into what is Edition Hotels today by Marriott. The first 10 hotels he was engaged to kind of be very much involved in the design. And this design hotel, which has changed from what, this old perception of design hotel, which was like maybe W hotels, which I think today is a little bit, maybe it will go through a little bit of evolution, or it will slowly disappear, or, because people are more aware of design today. So what's my point? This diversity that we have today, people no longer go to stay in a hotel, they go to stay in a place. And so the fact that we have this amazing diversity of places to stay, which in Vietnam is the most prevalent, I think, whether you're staying in Topaz Eco Lodge up in Sapa, or the Intercon in Da Nang, or what have you, the Regent in Phu Quoc. It's amazing, this diversity, but the diversity is there because of what was founded, which was rarer in those days, because it was an Amman, it was a Sukhothai, it was more premium, but that's filtered down, so it's more open to everyone.
Absolutely. I was staying at a hotel last week which claims to have what they call lean luxe. So this idea of luxury coming down into the approachable, affordable segment, and not necessarily about the high thread count sheets or whatever. You can have a limited service hotel with a very high guest experience quotient, and a lot of hotels are moving towards that.
I think the best example of that is Public Hotel in New York, also Ian Schrager.
Right, yeah. Interesting, and you're talking about, I think you're talking about Como hotels, where some of them are actually very affordable, some of them are tens and tens of thousands of dollars a night, but all with the same guest-centric, design-centric attitude towards opening their hotels. Okay, we've got 3 minutes before we throw the floor open. So I want to bring it back to Asia. Asia's in the title. So I wanted to ask the panel, in what ways we think Asia leads the world in this hospitality design for great guest experiences. So maybe Nguyen, can I ask you to pick that up first?
I think that it's not only the hospitality on the hospitality industry. I think that Asia is very receptive and open to an innovative idea, and they are willing to try and test the new. That you can see that a lot of like unique shape, unique building, unique concept was born in Asia. It's particularly in China. You can see many very strange shape building in China. They have trouser shape, they have a koi shape, they have pineapple shape. So not all of them successful, but they're willing to test and try with this. But a lot of among them, there's some very successful like Marina Bay Sands. When it's launched, it surprised the whole world, and many building concept right now, they are trying to replicate that concept. So I think that it's the spirit of Asia. Yeah.
Marielle?
Yeah, the thing is, the last 20 years, the Europe market and America market are mature, and Asia is booming. So all the R&D is all in Asia. So all the technology, the new research is coming in Asia. That's why the Asia hotel lead the market in terms of design. And now it's back in Europe. That is what I want to tell for David. Is European market is copying Asia. That's what I want to say.
I need to get my list. So no, I checked just before coming today. The hotel openings just in London alone. So I mean, Raffles just opened. Shangri-La opened a few years ago. Another Mandarin Oriental is opening this year. Six Senses is opening in London this year. This is London alone. And Antara as a brand are opening all over Europe. So
Landmark of London, all Asian-owned brands. Thai
Exactly.
brand, Standard now is a Thai
Exactly.
brand.
So this sensuality, lighting, comfort, sense of place, sense of service, understanding of tradition, all of these things which exist here in so many properties are now being taken back to Europe, which is, I think, a great thing.
Yeah, I think the reason that the question came to my mind was I think that Asia really does lead the world. If we look at brands, Como, Banyan Tree, Six Senses, Mandarin Oriental, these are all homegrown Asian brands which have taken that heightened sense of hospitality and guest service and guest experience to the world. Now, you were challenged by this a little bit. Have you got any comments on this one? Can Asia lead the world in interior design?
Sure, I mean, why not? I think, yeah, it can with the likes of the new interior designers that coming, from, as you said, Asia home, Asia grown. I mean, surely, yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right, we have a couple of questions here. And the first one is, I think, aimed at me, so I'll go over that one. What design elements and experiences would make a hotel particularly appealing to Vietnamese travellers? Obviously, domestic market has become a huge talking point. We have 110 million journeys a year, plus, before and since COVID. So our Vietnamese domestic market is really key. So what design elements and experiences would you build in to make an extraordinary experience for Vietnamese travellers? Maybe we'll start with Nguyen.
I think it's the nature. I think that in Vietnam we are doing very good retreat resort product, and with the very new concept of wellness and mindfulness, combined with yoga, we combine with meditation, combined with the sound treatment, and also the interaction with the nature. That we have very good condition here, and there's a lot of things that we can elevate it to the guests to bring the guest experience more better. Yeah.
One more thing also is Vietnam is a big country, so each area is different story. So there's no one element to make it successful for each region, each hotel, each designer have to make something different. So design from the north is not the same as the south. So I think there is variation, diversity, which is very rich to make it successful.
Absolutely agree. And Vietnamese people love to tell their story.
Exactly.
They love to tell their own story, their cultural story. So when they're journeying, when they're sharing with their friends, giving them great ways to do that, I think is awesome, which comes from design, of course. Luxury and guest experience, which is the higher priority in hospitality design? Mr. David.
I'd argue that guest experience is luxury today. I don't think luxury in the old sense of what it was is there anymore. There's gold taps and marble and so on. I think if you just look at brands like Azurai, which we were involved with, the room is so simple. It's very pure, very clean, very minimal, very Japanese. But there's no luxury in the finishes, apart from that they're done very well. The luxury is the guest experience, the space that you have with that room, or the connection to the landscape, going to a unique place. I think guest experience comes first every time, and that makes the luxury.
And I think the opposite is possibly true in some cases, where people strive for luxury and forget the guest experience, and so they have all of that gold taps and gold toilets and all those things, and it doesn't necessarily enhance the guest experience overall. Nan, you're the cold face of this.
But I think I can second that. I think nowadays luxury and guest experience are actually going hand in hand. I mean, if we just purely look at luxury, as you said, and as David mentioned, just materialize and everything. That's just one element of luxury, right? I mean, one of my first experience with Accor many years ago when I first started is that my superior at that time guided me on luxury and what's the guest experience is like. Is that you can have, as you said, gold coated and marbles and everything inside a hotel, inside a room, but if you have like the next guest is looking into your room from like 5 meters away, it's not luxury at all, right? And so it's actually go against the luxury definition that we strive through. So I mean, nowadays guest experience and luxury have to go hand in hand.
Absolutely. I've seen many places in Asia where luxury villas, pool villas, have had a second room built on the top, so when you're sitting in your lovely pool and everything's behind
Correct.
so the upstairs looking down in your pool, and people forget those elements. And also, I think luxury. We worked with a business, a small hotel brand where they were buying up and refurbishing old hotels. If you're traveling on business, a good night's sleep is luxury. A great shower is luxury. A decent breakfast is luxury. And so it's contextual, depending on what you really need to get from that trip. Okay, we've still got 5 minutes left. What's the balance in interior design taste between Asian and Western? I guess we're talking about guests or owners, I don't know. But how to balance the taste element of design? Let's ask Nguyen as a Vietnamese designer.
It's really a difficult question. I think that because we don't design for a particular guest. When we do the design, we need first to focus on the property itself first, and we need to think about like how to make that the experience of the guest make that property become authenticity. And how to reflect the context of that hotel, of that property, and how to make the guests feel like all the guests, like they feel the special of that location, of that hotel itself. I don't think that we need to, but it's really difficult to like run after a particular person test. Yeah.
Yeah, I have an example. I see Michelle is here. So we are doing Northern Namia in Hoi An. And this is really the balance between the Asian and Western test, because in this hotel on design is a lot of cultural decor style, but then Western in terms of wellness, in terms of expectation, in terms of luxury design product. So Namia can be a good example of this one. This hotel will open, I think, end of the year or something like that. Correct, Michelle? Yes. So that's a really one example of this balance.
I think maybe David can answer this one. There's a lot of owners that I think believe that Western is good and that they should try and build with a Western aesthetic, even in Phuket or in the mountains or whatever. Do you find that tension where owners are pushing more for a Western solution when a more authentic Asian solution might be more appropriate?
Actually not. I've not really come across I mean, it's an interesting question. I agree with Ian. It's impossible to design for well, it's not impossible, but it's impossible to know who you're designing a hotel for. I mean, in David's talk yesterday at the opening, the shift of people visiting Vietnam from mostly Chinese tourists to now mostly Korean tourists. So you can't predict who you're designing for. But we've never really been asked. Actually, the opposite. Maybe not the project I would shout the most about, but a few years ago we renovated a Sheraton, actually the one here in Saigon. And it was, the thing with Sheraton as a brand was it was kind of transplanting its kind of idea across the globe, which was it could be in Milwaukee, or it could be in Chicago, it could be in Saigon, it could be in Seoul, and they would not really have a soul of the place. Whereas now, I think if you don't have a connection to the place, you don't have some kind of connection, whether it be through the food or whether it be through the design. I think these are the two key elements of connection to place, really. So if you don't have that, then I don't think people would come to the hotel.
Yeah, there's always a tension. I think about the sort of themed hotels that we have coming up in Vietnam. Why shouldn't Vietnam have a fairy castle or a pirate ship or a theme park? Other countries around the world do. They grate a little bit on me because I love Vietnamese culture so much and the Vietnamese vernacular that we've all grown up with here. So it's an interesting one. There's a place for everything and everything's place, I guess. An interesting one. All right, so we're down to our last minute. I'll answer the last question. Brand identity comes before interior design because brand identity is the story and interior design is the way to live the story. So hopefully that should answer that one, unless you vehemently disagree with me.
I would agree with you on that. I think I'm obliged as an employee of Accor too, but my panelists might disagree with me on that.
Very good. You all agree. Perfect. So thank you very much, panel. That brings us to the end of our time. Thanks everyone for your questions. And thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you very much.